Okay.
Hello everyone on YouTube. This is my first tutorial on the guitar. The strumming you just heard was from my CD called Key to My Heart, available at CD Babies, iTunes, etc. First of all, let's ask ourselves, what is a chord? A chord is any three or more notes played together at the same time or separately, as in an arpeggio. In other words, one note could be played separately, one after another. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with our first chord on the guitar. It's one of the easiest chords to play on the guitar. It's called the E minor chord. Now what we have to do for that, these are the strings of the guitar. This is string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, 5, and 6. Now in between the strings we have the frets. This is called fret 1, all in here. Fret 2, fret 3, fret 4. The fingers on the left hand or the right hand are always finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, and finger 4. Now the E minor chord that we're going to learn first of all is played only on 3 strings. Here's the E minor chord. Now in order to play that, we play the 3rd string opened, the 2nd string opened, and the 1st string opened. And then we strum the chord and call it E minor. So there's our first chord, E minor chord. Now again, let's start with that. We play the 3rd string open, 2nd string open, 1st string open, and then we strum the whole chord. That's called E minor chord. That's the easiest chord on the guitar. Okay, now let's start with the next thing. I forgot to show you how to use the pick. Here's a pick right here. This is what it looks like. Now I recommend that you use a pick to start, but later on you should try using the back of your index finger on your right hand. If you're left-handed, of course the left hand. Now the first thing in how to hold the pick, you have to place your thumb, your right hand thumb we're using here, across the pick like that. Now if we turn it like that, you can see it like that. Make sure the thumb is flat on the back of the pick. Put the index finger, this one, in behind the pick, like this. Now if we hold it up, it'll look like that. And then just move the pick, the tip of the pick in with your finger like that. And if you see that, we have that. Now when using the pick, the important thing is to make sure to use just the very, very tip of the pick. As little of the pick as possible when you're playing. Okay, now again, let's review the first chord that we learned. It's the easiest chord on the guitar. It's called E minor. We used the very tip of the pick, and we play all these 3 strings together. That's called E minor. Yeah, we can play them separately also. E minor. Let's go on to our next new chord. Now this one is very easy too. Now this is important. We're going to be using the thumb and the fingers for this. Now we're going to use finger 1 first of all. The way the fingers work, this is finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, finger 4 of the left hand. We place finger 1 right in behind the 1st fret. These are the frets here. In between here is fret 1, fret 2, fret 3, fret 4, fret 5, fret 6, all the way up the neck. Now the reason we say up the neck, because when you're going down the neck, you're actually going up because the sound, the pitch of the note is getting higher. If you played that note and you went to this one, the notes are getting higher in sound. So we call it pitch. But anyway, here's the first, or the second chord we're going to learn now. This is called G7. Now in order to play this, place finger 1 of your left hand right in behind the fret itself. As you can see, there's the fret there, right in behind the fret. And if you look at the back of the thumb should be sort of bent like a banana shape in the back. And it should be right in behind the back of the neck so you can't see it. Now a lot of people when they play, you'll notice their thumb is up in the air like this or like this. It's because of the different styling that they're playing. Sometimes people will play at the 6th string with their thumb like that note. Or the next note with their thumb. It's a different style of playing, but it's important to always keep your thumb in the back of the neck. Now if we play the 4th string opened, this is the way the strings work. This is string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 4th string opened. Play that one, and then the 3rd string opened, 2nd string opened, and then the 1st string opened. Now when we play that whole chord, that's called G7. Now we can strum all the strings together, all 4 strings, it's called G7. Now if you don't get a sound like that the first time, if you get this kind of a sound, that means you're not holding enough pressure on your 1st finger. So you have to make sure you use the very tips of your fingers, press it right in behind the fret. You have to squeeze with the thumb and push in with the finger just as if it was a vice grip. You were squeezing or pinching like that. Now this is a good exercise you can use also to strengthen the left hand, because your wrists, everything is in the wrists when playing the guitar. Okay, so that's the exercise you can do. Now again, here's the G7th chord. It's a very easy chord. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start with our next chord, but before we do that, let's review the first one, the first 2 we learned. This is the E minor chord. We play the first 3 strings open. It's called E minor. Let's go on to the next chord that we learned. It's called G7. This is the first 4 strings on the guitar played together. That's called G7. Now we're going to learn another chord. This is called the G chord. This is very easy as well. We place the 3rd finger of the left hand. Now again, the way the fingers work, that's finger 1, 2, 3, 4 of the left hand. The frets are all in between here. That's fret 1, fret 2, fret 3 in there, fret 4, fret 5, fret 6 all the way down, all the way up the neck. And then now we're going to play finger 3 on the 3rd fret, right in between the 3rd fret, on the 1st string. So there's the note we have right here. 1st string on the 3rd fret. 1, 2, 3. There's the 3rd finger. Now this is called G chord, or just G. Here's how we play this one. We play from the 4th string down. This is called G. Now again, if you don't get the sound of this chord right away, it's because the finger might be touching on the 2nd string, which is this one, like this, in other words. Or rather, if you get that kind of a sound, it's not clear, so you have to make sure the finger is pressed tightly against the 3rd fret. Squeeze again with the thumb and push in with the 3rd finger. That's G. Now here's what it looks like at the back again. Your thumb should be a banana shape at the back. Just like that. That's how the thumb should be. Now if we turn it around, place the third finger in behind there like that. Strum all 4 strings together. That's G.